Hey, what's up guys? We're here for my Week 3 NPL matchup versus Sheerforce or Trevor. He is the owner of the NPL, and this is the first time I played him. I've been in the NPL for over a year now. This is my second season, so I'm really excited to play him. He's in my division, so I play him again later on in the year. And yeah, but he has started 2-0 just like me, so we are the two undefeated teams in our division, so this matchup will decide who is first place in the division. Yeah, Trevor's a really cool guy. I'm so happy I joined the NPL, and he's just been really, really friendly and really, I guess, is a good way to put it. Like, he's just been a great commissioner for the league. So, props to him. But yeah, like I said, I can't wait for this battle. And I guess I'll just hop right into the team building for you. Looking at Trevor's team is pretty like deadly versus me, I guess you could call it, because he has a couple mons that just straight up beat my team, and then I have a couple mons that just straight up beat his team. There's really not going to be too many checks and counters this game. It's going to be mostly who can kill who quicker and who can, I guess, set the tempo. So it's going to be all about momentum in this game, so I really need to at least take advantage or take control of the game. So I'll get right into the team building process. Trevor's draft is Mega-Aerodactyl, Latios with a Z move, Mega-Pinsir, Chestnut, Chandelure, Weezing, Crawdaunt, Gigalith, Mudsdale, Zebstrika, and Avalugg. So he has two mons that I used last year, Latios and Mega-Pinsir. I missed both of them, especially Latios. I love using Latios. But it was actually third place for offensive MVP, I believe, last year. But yeah, he's got a really nice Dragon Steel Fairy Core with the Mega-Aerodactyl and Latios, and then Mega-Pinsir is just so strong, guys. Aerialated boosted attacks with the option to have priority is just ridiculous. The only weakness is those Stealth Rocks, 4 times weak to Rock. But yeah, the rest of this team is pretty threatening. The Mega-Aerodactyl and Latios, like I said, they just are so well. They work so well together. Mega-Aerodactyl covers Latios's Dragon weakness along with the Ice weakness, and Latios covers Mega-Aerodactyl's Ground and Fire weakness. So it's really good pairing and a great draft. Like, at least he really thought about the draft, and those two form a very nice core. But yeah, things like Chandelure are really good. Crawdaunt is it's like really terrifying with the adaptability, water type moves, and knockoffs. Then we got things like Mudsdale, and I'm still getting used to Gen 7. I don't really know too much about it, so Mudsdale could be annoying. The only good thing I can see about his team, or at least is probably a weakness in his team, is his lack of hazard removal and his lack of hazard setters. He's got Latios and Avalugg for his hazard removals, Latios Defog and Avalugg Spin, and that is it. And his only stealth rockers are, well, I don't even know if you want to count Mega-Pinsir, but Mega-Pinsir and Gigalith. So that's really nice to me. He also has spikes on Chestnut, to be fair, so he has that, and toxic spikes on Weezing. So yeah, but that is about it. So I'm really happy that I don't have to worry about what his stealth rocker is going to be, or which form of hazard removal he's going to bring, because I really don't think he's going to bring Avalugg versus me. But yeah, the rest of his team, very scary. It's just going to be interesting. Like I said, it's going to be all about momentum, and yeah, I'll just get right into why I brought what I brought. So anyway, we have to bring the Mega-Aerodactyl this week. It's pretty much my only set answer for Pinsir. Pinsir does have the option to carry Stone Edge. That's the only move that necessarily threatens me, and I don't even believe that it kills with the set that I'm bringing this week. I am running 140 HP investment with max attack adamant, and 116 thrown into speed. I believe that is to outspeed the No, it's to outspeed maybe like Scarf Mega-Aerodactyl or something like that. I obviously outspeed the well, maybe it is just to outspeed the Zebstrika too. So I believe I outspeed both. I'm not too sure. I know I outspeed the Zebstrika though. Anyway, Aerial Ace Earthquake coverage is all I really need. I didn't really need to throw on Rock Slide. I wanted to have Toxic because I didn't want to give things like Gigalith or things like Mudsdale like technically free switch-ins. I know Gigalith can eat an Earthquake pretty well. Or something like Avalugg. Avalugg would be just a total wall to this Mega-Aerodactyl. So I had to bring Toxic. I had to bring something that could wear things down. It's also kind of nice for Latios in a sense. Like if he's running a bit of a bulkier set, maybe Toxic can help a little bit. But yeah, that's about it. Earthquake 2-hit KOs the Mega-Aerodactyl. Aerial Ace Oko is the Chestnut. Earthquake Oko is the Chandelure. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is Weezing. Weezing kind of doesn't really, I mean, Weezing kind of beats this thing one-on-one with its Will-O-Wisp capabilities. So I didn't bring Substitute on anything. I kind of wanted to for the Weezing, but I didn't think he was going to bring it versus me. Yeah, spoiler alert. Anyway, so Roost is just for reliable recovery. I believe it depends if he's running Jolly or Adamant, but Jolly returns are doing about 45% to my Mega-Aerodactyl, so I can just keep roosting off the damage. It's doing about 40 to 45, so I can just keep roosting off the damage and just like proceed from there. Quick Attack's not going to be doing anything, more like 20%, 25% max if he's Adamant, and Close Combats are doing probably nowhere near that, probably about 40 to 50 like the returns. So that is the Aerodactyl set. It's very nice for revenge killing things. It's very nice just to pick things off and pretty much just sit in there and try to eat the Mega-Pinsir's hits and try to beat it 1v1. So I have to keep this thing healthy. It's really my only Pinsir check, honestly, like at least that beats it 1v1 no matter what. So Mega-Aerodactyl very important in this match. Next Pokemon we are bringing is Tangrowth, Grass Kicker, Assault Vest Regenerator, Power Whip Knockoff, Earthquake, and Rock Slide with 252 HP, 12 defense, and 244 special defense with a careful nature. So obviously this is a very, very bulky Tangrowth on the specially defensive side. Assault Vest allows me to eat up Draco Meteors, Floor Cannons, Flash Cannons, Volt Switches, Shadow Balls, pretty much anything. I know an Overheat from a Zebstrika does like 40%, 40 to 50%, so that just lets you know how strong, how bulky this thing is on the specially defensive side. Draco Meteor is doing about 50% as well from Life Orb Lottie. It's just insanely bulky right now, so I had to bring this to be able to check the Latios in a sense. I had no real Draco switch-ins. I was a bit worried that he'd run Draco Meteor Earthquake, so I can't really throw all the pressure on Heatran for that, so Tangrowth is going to have to do this week. I have great coverage versus everything on his team. Something gets hit from super effective damage. I don't think anything on his team except the Weezing, maybe? Except the Weezing and Chestnut takes like no damage from it pretty much. Knockoff is perfect to get rid of items that I don't want them to have. Example, or like, yeah, my prime example is like Latios. I don't want him to bring like, I don't know, specs, so I can knock off the specs. I can knock off the scarf, things of that nature. It's nice for Chandelure as well. Just getting rid of items in general is super nice. Knocking off a leftovers, knocking off a choice item, so pretty much ruining the set. So that's what knockoff is for. Earthquake is really nice for the Magearna. Just nice, I guess it's just nice whittle damage. It's probably only doing about 40 to 50, maybe even 60 depending on the set. But yeah, so that's about it. Rock Slide is really the only coverage I have for the Pinsir, so if he wants to try to switch in on the Pinsir thinking it's a free switch in, he's going to have to take a Rock Slide if I can predict it well. So that is the Tangrowth set. Obviously Power Whip is just nice stab versus like the Crawdaunt, the Gigalith, the Mudsdale, stuff like that. So that is a Tangrowth set. I think Earthquake actually OHKOs the Zebstrika too, so that's pretty interesting. It's just there to be a bulky, specially defensive wall because I didn't really have anything else that could do the job this week. Yeah, that's about it for the Tangrowth. So next Pokemon is Zelda, our Meloetta. I've actually have been bringing Meloetta a lot lately. So this week we are not running Assault Vest, we are running Choice Scarf. Which is pretty cool. So we're running Hyper Voice, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and U-Turn with 140 HP, 4 defense, 252 special attack, 4 defense, or special defense, and 108 speed with a modest nature. So this particular set allows me to outspeed everything on his team that is not Choice Scarf, and pretty much allows me to hit things really, really hard. So I want to try to catch him off guard a little bit with the Choice Scarf set, because usually I don't really bring Choice Scarf Meloetta. I usually sit in, I usually like bring Assault Vest or a bulkier set with Calm Mind, something along the lines of that. Sit in, take the hit, and then switch out accordingly. But this time I'm going to bring kind of a sweeper. Hyper Voice, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and U-Turn. U-Turn is for initiative. I have to have initiative this game. Hyper Voice is nice stab to bring versus team. I really wanted to bring Psychic, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I know Psychic is better for things like Chestnut and Weezing, but I didn't think it'd be worth it, and better for Gigalith. But I really, really did not want to be locked into Psychic, and he has a Crawdaunt on his team. I could not let that Crawdaunt just get a free switch in, set up a Swords Dance, set up a Dragon Dance. I just couldn't do it. It's just way too threatening to my team. Hyper Voice actually kills Crawdaunts if he's running like very little HP investment. So I wanted to punish him if he wanted to make that kind of play. So that's the reason we're running Hyper Voice. It's also kind of nice if he wants to click Substitute on something. So if he wants to click Substitute on Pinsir, I can go through that and knock it out with the Hyper Voice. So that's really nice. The only bad thing is, like I said, it's worse versus the Weezing, worse for the Chestnut, worse versus Gigalith, and obviously I can't hit the Chandelure because it's a Ghost type. So that's the reason we're running decent coverage with Thunderbolt and Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is very, very nice because of the Serene Grace ability. It allows me to get a 40% chance to drop their special defense, which means the next Shadow Ball will be doing a ton of damage. So max special attack Modest is very, very powerful. I can OHKO the Mega-Pinsir with Thunderbolt. I can 2-hit KO every Latios set unless he's, I don't even know, I might be able to kill it with a Cassie Berry or whatever the Ghost Berry is. I don't believe Weezing takes it very well. It definitely dies to 2 Hyper Voices, I'm pretty sure. Shadow Ball is also decent versus, pretty much just there for the Latios and the Chandelure, honestly. But yeah, and the T-Bolt is pretty much just there for the Crawdaunt and the Mega-Pinsir. So that's the middle of the set. Like I said, U-turn for initiative, and it's just one of the things that can take a hit and pretty much dish out a lot of damage and pretty quick this week. So next we have our Heatran with the Grassy MZ, Flash Fire, Lava Plume, Flash Cannon, Solar Beam, and Stealth Rock with 244 HP, 124 defense, 52 special attack with a modest nature, 4 special defense, and 84 speed. So I know the AVs are all over the place this week. It's because I could not decide what kind of Heatran set I wanted to bring, and this is the one I finally decided on. We're running a bit of a physically defensive one while having some sort of offensive capability. The offensive capability is so I OHKO the Mega-Pinsir every single time with Lava Plume if needed to be. Flash Cannon is also nice versus the Latios, and it depends on his set. If he's running a like kind of a no investment set, Flash Cannon can be a 2-hit KO. Bloom Doom is super nice versus the Crawdaunt, the Gigalith, and the Mudsdale. So I can hit those very, very hard with that Grassy Z move. I'm still really not a fan of Z moves. I don't like them at all, but it's whatever. Stealth Rock is obviously needed versus a Mega-Pinsir team. Helps a lot versus Chandelure, Latios, things like that. Breaking potential Sashes and potential Sturdy with Gigalith. So I have to bring the Stealth Rock this week. It's just super, super nice versus a Mega-Pinsir team. The idea is to keep them up all game. Do not let him defog with the Latios. So that's the Heatran set we're running. I believe the speed is to outspeed, I want to say outspeed Adamant Crawdaunt, because I don't think he'll bring Jolly. Usually nobody brings Jolly Crawdaunt. It's usually always Adamant. And I also outspeed slower Magearnas. Well, as long as they're not running like max speed. If it's a slower Magearna, I can outspeed it. So that's the Heatran set. It's pretty nice, honestly. It covers most things on his team. Good Weezing check, and yeah, that's about it. Obviously, it destroys Avalugg too. But anyway, next Pokemon we have is Sandra making its debut, the Flygon. Another Choice Scarf user, so we're running double Scarf this week. Earthquake, Superpower, Rock Slide, U-turn. I didn't think I needed a Dragon type move. The only thing I could really hit is just nice stab, but that's about it. Earthquake is super nice versus the Magearna. It's great versus Chandelure. Does a lot of damage versus Gigalith, and just very nice stab. Superpower is to OHKO the Crawdaunt, because U-turn cannot do that. It's also nice versus, like, I don't know, if I wanted to make sure, say Latios is really low and Gigalith was in, I don't have to lock myself into Earthquake. I can click Superpower instead and still kill. So that's kind of nice. Then Rock Slide is my only coverage versus the Pinsir. Otherwise, it would just totally beat me. Like at least be walled by the Pinsir. So Rock Slide is there to make sure I can OHKO that. Also does a ton of damage versus the Chandelure and things like that. U-turn is great for initiative. I had to bring, I think, yeah, just double U-turn this week, just to make sure I get that momentum, like I said. Max Attack Adamant is also great. I have 204 speed to make sure I outspeed. I think I outspeed Scarf Chandelure, and obviously everything else on his team without a Choice Scarf. So That's pretty cool. This thing is going to put in work, I think. I really like using Flygon. I haven't brought it in a league match ever, so this is the first time, like I said. I'm just kind of curious to see how it does. It's a very versatile Pokemon that I'm looking forward to using the rest of the season. So yeah, that's our Sandra set, and the last Pokemon we are bringing is Vaseline, our Toxicroak with the Air Balloon and the ability to dry skin. Guys, the main reason I'm bringing this is because of Crawdon. There's really no other way around it. Crawdon is so scary, and Crawdon needs to be stopped, so I have to bring a dry skin ability, which means I'm immune to water type moves, and obviously with my fighting type I resist the dark type moves, but I still take about 80% due to knockoff, so I gotta be really careful about that. That's why you see I'm running a lot of HP investments. I'm running 228 HP, 252 attack with an adamant nature, 4 defense, 4 special defense, and 20 speed. The 20 speed is to make sure I outspeed the adamant daunt. The drain punch, rock slide, sucker punch, and swords dance is my set. Drain punch is obviously very nice stab. Oko is the Crawdon, and pretty much just puts in a lot of work. It gives me perfect recovery versus things. So say Crawdon hits me with a knockoff and it does like 70-80% if he's the set I'm thinking he is. I click drain punch and I get most of that back, so that's pretty cool. Rock slide is there for the Pinsir because I don't want to get walled by Pinsir. Hopefully I don't have to deal with the Pinsir. This is like kind of an emergency move, I guess you could call it, because sucker punch won't really work because it'll click quick attack. But yeah, so rock slide is there if he wants to try to switch in with the Pinsir and try to get a free switch into it. I can't let him do that. Sucker punch is very nice versus the Latios. If I can set up a swords dance, I will Oko that. I will Oko the Chandelure with the sucker punch. But yeah, if I can get some boost on with the swords dance, this thing does potentially put in a lot of work. It will kill the Gigalith at +2 as long as he is not sturdy. Also does a tremendous amount to the Avalugg, believe it or not. So at +2, this thing is very scary, and I don't think he would want to deal with that. So actually, it doesn't really mind Mega-Aerodactyl either. Mega-Aerodactyl can hit it with a Floor Cannon, but due to my HP investment, I will be able to eat that up unless he's like max special attack, modest choice spec. So anyway, that is the team we're bringing versus Trevor this week in our last league battle until I believe the last 3 weeks. So let's hop right into the game. So this is the team he brought. He brought the Crawdon, the Mega-Pinsir, the Weezing, I was pretty surprised about that, the Latios, the Mudsdale, and the Mega-Aerodactyl. So everything else pretty standard. I'm kind of happy he did not bring... What else would I think he needed to bring in? I guess the Chandelure could have been a bit of a problem, but then again I have a couple answers to it. Gigalith could be annoying, but then again he already has Mudsdale, so he doesn't really need it. So anyway, the team he brought really surprised me because he doesn't have Self-Rock this week unless he wants to run it on his Pinsir. So, and then obviously his Latios is his default user. So the way I look at it is his team that he brings, like, I just kind of want to go into, I believe, I don't even remember what I started with, so let me just click play. I lead my Aerodactyl trying to just say it's the most average lead. Obviously I can't stay in here because I don't want to get Will-O-Wisp, but he doubles into his Mudsdale like he should, and obviously I'm going to get out of there right away. Click the Balloon because I can't get Toxic or Earthquake, so then I'd go back into my Heatran on the Heavy Slam. I really didn't think he would stay in there, so I had to make another play. I wanted to Bloom Doom here, trying to catch his Mudsdale, but he makes a good scout and he goes into the Latios. I take this opportunity to set up my Stealth Rocks because I don't really think he has EQ anymore. He goes for the defog like he should, and gets rid of the rocks right away and goes straight for the Draco Meteor, only doing 40%, so that's really nice. We see he's Colbur Berry though. I'm actually going to slow this down to normal. So we see he's Colbur Berry, so that's really nice to know he's not a Z moveset. I'd switch out, get my Regenerator, and go back into this thing, get my Stealth Rocks up, and we see he Hidden Power Ground, so doing a nice amount, so I have to get out of there. I can't just stay in there and take unnecessary damage. So I go into my Meloetta as he goes into his Latios here, and he does not know I am Choice Scarf, so I go straight for the Shadow Ball as he goes into the Mega-Aerodactyl, and I'm thinking he's a bit of a bulkier Mega-Aerodactyl set. I don't think he was a Soul Fest though, because that's not a Soul Fest damage, as I get the 40% drop, so that's pretty nice. So I just go for another one and do a tremendous amount of damage to him again. And now he's really whittled down, and he just goes for the Volt Switch and goes into the Pinsir. So I can't stay in here. I really would like to, but I can't stay into. Meloetta is a very nice win con, and I go into this thing, and he just goes ahead and clicks return. and he actually gets a crit, which is really, really bad because I'm not Mega Evolved yet, and it's going to be doing a ton of damage. So I actually stay in here and just go for the Aerial Ace, just sacking this thing off as he switches into this thing. I'm pretty sure Quick Attack killed, but it was a roll, so maybe he just didn't want to risk it. As I just go ahead and click Aerials, then I click Toxic. He actually overpredicts and clicks Toxic as well. He probably should have just clicked Heavy Slam right then and there, but that's fine with me. It's still a decent play. He clicks Protect as I click Roost, trying to get some recovery back just in case he wanted to click, I don't know, anything. I just clicked it just because I don't need it really anymore. So I switch out here as he click Protect, as he goes into the Heavy Slam. So yeah, I made a pretty ballsy play there, but I thought it was almost necessary. So I make another double back into the Flygon, predicting the Earthquake as I am right. So he's just taking more and more toxic damage, which is really cool, as I'm just going to U-turn right out of here again, predicting a Earthquake or Heavy Slam, thinking he's going to think I'm doubling. But I don't really need this thing anymore, so I just go back into it as he kills me with the Heavy Slam. Also, the opportunity to switch into something at least more suitable so Latios can't defog. So I go into the Flygon here, and U-turn will end up killing the Latios if he does stay in, so I just go for the U-turn as he goes into the Magearna, and the U-turn does about 5%. So yeah, I switch into my Meloetta here because it will kill with the Shadow Ball, so I just go straight for the Shadow Ball, lock myself into that. He still does not know I'm Choice Scarfed, so he goes back into his Latios, probably trying to click Defog here. As I click the Shadow Ball again, and I'm able to knock him out with the Meloetta. So that's super nice. Rocks are here to stay, and he still has the Mega-Pinsir. So obviously I can't stay in here, so I just go into the Tangrowth. It loses to all 3 Mons. So as he just goes to the knockoff like he should, and that is Banded Adamant like I predicted, so I'm just going to let Tangrowth go down here. There's no point in keeping it around, so I just go back into my Meloetta and lock myself into Thunderbolt, knock out the what do you call it? Yeah, the Cardon. I could have clicked Hyper Voice, but I didn't really want to risk the roll. It kills every single time, but say he had some weird max HP Cardon with max attack, which isn't like totally out of the question. So I didn't want to risk that, so I just clicked the Thunderbolt instead. So I get some Whittle on the Weezing as I just go back into my Meloetta, and I can just click Hyper Voice here and win the game. So I'm able to literally almost sweep his entire team with Meloetta. I believe it picked up 5 kills, so it'll definitely be a contender for Pokemon of the Week here. Choice Scarf Meloetta put in the work this week, and luckily it did because something had to. His team was very, very scary, and it was just really, really threatening to play against. So GG to Trevor. That was a great game, honestly. It could have gone either way. There was a couple plays that I made that I wasn't too I wouldn't say I wasn't proud of, but like I believe I played to the best of my ability. I believe he played to the best of his ability, and I just think it was a great game. So I can't wait for our rematch. Our rematch will probably be the week 9 or 10 match, something like that. But yeah, I can't wait till we replay and see how it goes from there, because it was really, really hard prepping for this battle. So like I said, great game to Trevor. Other than that, I think next week we play Eric. You guys remember Eric from, he was in our division last season in the NPL, and he was the one we beat in the quarterfinals of the playoffs, coach of the Reno Reggies. So this year he's got another scary team, Landorus Incarnate, Volcanion, and Mega Scizor Core. So I gotta work on how to break that down, which is going to be pretty difficult, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I will catch you next week. See you later.